The most shocking truth about the modern game of baseball is not the velocity of the fastballs, but the incredible value teams willingly discard. A pitcher with a near 7-foot frame, a release point that generates a 40-degree downward angle, and a legitimate cutter that slices 11 inches horizontally, all wrapped up and left on the waiver wire for the Hanshin Tigers to claim. We are talking about Carson Ragsdale, and if you thought Hanshin was merely picking up scrap heap leftovers, prepare to have your entire scouting philosophy rewritten. Welcome to 604 News Now, where we decode the subtle genius hidden within NPB roster moves. And today, we explore why this lanky, often injured flamethrower from Tampa Bay is about to become the most feared foreign arm in the Central League, solving the crisis that has plagued Hanshin's starting rotation for years. The initial reaction from the U.S. press, which briefly covered his claiming, was predictable cynicism. They pointed to the short MLB debut seen in that brief highlight reel, the debut where he gave up the home run, where the commentators focused more on the surrounding players like George Springer and Barger, and they scoffed. Another project the Rays couldn't fix, the narrative went. His walk rate hovered above 15% in AAA, and his fastball command is non-existent when runners are on.
That's the surface-level analysis. That's what they want you to believe. But let's bring in the perspective of Scout Mike, a longtime evaluator who watched Ragsdale struggle with consistency in Durham. Mike told us plainly, the problem with Ragsdale in the American system was simple. He couldn't maintain the low release slot necessary to keep the four-seamer up for swing and miss.
He was always fighting his long levers, leading to too many hangers and a susceptibility to line drives right down the middle. Mike saw a raw arm, not a weapon. But Mike was looking at the wrong pitch. He was ignoring the silent killer. This is where the lens shifts to Japan. Analyst Sato, who has consulted for multiple NPB clubs and studies pitch data obsessively, had a radically different take. The value proposition for Ragsdale is not the four-seam fastball. It's the combination of the depth on his curveball and the devastating cutter he introduced late last season, Sato explained. The Japanese batter is conditioned to track spin and spoil pitches down the zone. What Ragsdale provides is extreme vertical depth combined with a massive extension. He releases the ball almost 56 feet from the plate. This makes his 97-mile-per-hour heater feel like 100, and conversely, it makes his curveball drop off the table at a depth that NPB hitters rarely see. Consider this. Ragsdale's average vertical break efficiency on his curveball is 52%, meaning more than half of the pitch movement is pure drop, a figure 18% higher than the NPB average for all foreign starters in 2024. That is an astronomical difference, creating the kind of eye-level to shin guard movement that simply paralyzes hitters. But here is the counter-argument that must be addressed. If he possessed such exceptional raw talent, why did the Rays, arguably the best pitching development system in baseball, let him go for nothing? The answer is simple, and it forms the core of Hanshin's genius move. The Rays needed volume, stability, and guaranteed innings from their developmental pieces, especially after Ragsdale underwent Tommy John surgery years prior. They saw a high-risk starter who might need an opener, who might only deliver 5 efficient innings, and who would take up a precious 40-man spot while fighting control issues. Hanshin, however, is not looking for a 200-inning horse. They are looking for a dominant weapon, a closer-caliber arm stretched into a starter role that can obliterate opponents in crucial stretches. They are looking for an impact arm.
When the Rays asked Ragsdale to be a consistent 5-pitch starter, he struggled. When Hanshin asks him to deploy his 3 elite pitches, the 97-mile-per-hour heater, the high-spin curve, and the late-moving cutter, with aggression and minimal regard for economy, he thrives. This is about maximizing peak output over total endurance.
The climax of this acquisition, the one moment that confirms Hanshin's deep-dive scouting was correct, is found in a virtually unknown internal metric the Tigers track: the effective release height correlation with out-of-zone chase rate against their own minor leaguers. They run simulations constantly against their internal talent pool, specifically looking for pitchers who generate movement profiles that Japanese hitters struggle to adjust to. Ragsdale's curveball, The very pitch that Scout Mike dismissed as too slow for the majors clocked an effective velocity of 88 mph at the plate due to his extreme extension, a full 3 mph faster than the existing NPB average for that pitch type, even when his actual velocity read the same. "It's about visual deception, not just the radar gun reading," said one unnamed Tigers front office source, confirming our suspicions.
We saw a man whose injury history created an opportunity for us to acquire premium depth without paying the premium price. He is our $10 million pitcher for a fraction of the cost, a high-yield bond disguised as damaged goods. The beautiful plot twist in this story isn't just about the mechanics or the data, it's about the emotional connection, the player seeking redemption.
Imagine Ragsdale, the lanky prospect who tasted the big leagues only to be quickly discarded, being given the keys to one of baseball's most passionate fan bases. He knows Hanshin is his last best chance to prove the Rays were wrong. "I felt like I was perpetually auditioning, never belonging," Ragsdale reportedly told a source close to him before signing. "Hanshin offered me the driver's seat, not the spare tire. It's about showing them they were wrong."
His inner focus, the deliberate, intense stare we see in those highlight clips right before he lets the ball fly, isn't just concentration, it's defiance. This calculated gamble by the Hanshin Tigers, picking up a physically imposing pitcher whose repertoire uniquely exploits the regional hitting philosophy, is not just smart baseball, it's a masterclass in market inefficiency, transforming a discarded prospect into the potential ace of a championship-contending rotation. This acquisition is poised to be the defining move of the 2025 NPB season, a move that the American baseball world will only realize the genius of when Ragsdale is hoisting the Japan Series trophy. What do you think? Did the Hanshin Tigers strike gold with Carson Ragsdale, or is he destined to be another high-velocity flameout? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive into NPB strategy valuable, please hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to 604 News Now for the most persuasive and insightful analysis in global baseball.